it's a funny story where the world's shortest golfer designs the world's longest golf course.
I know.
One of my best friends in the world, Craig Fitzsimmons, was our pilot.
Yep.
And we were broke. And, it was 2008. The world melted down. The catastrophe of the 2008 Great Recession, they call it. It wasn't the Great Depression, but it's called the Great Recession. And the housing market melted and everything. And literally every bank was going broke. Banks were being seized. And we were like out of credit, out of money. Every banker wanted to murder me because they had... there's a saying, if a banker loans you a little bit of trouble, a little bit of money, and bad times come, you're in trouble. But if they loan you a lot of money, they're in trouble with you. That's how we got through it. Yeah.
Down shit creek. Yeah.
That's right.
With no paddle.
Yeah. So we were in that era, and some partners and I had aviation department. We had a King Air, and we had sold it. And we're just throwing every lawn chair off the Queen Mary we could to keep from drowning. And so Craig was a pilot with no plane, and I really wanted to keep him here. And so what was interesting was at the time, you could not borrow a penny on real estate. You couldn't, no matter what, but you could borrow money on a jet. So we had some real estate that we didn't have deeds of trust on that wasn't leveraged to a bank. I said, Craig, let's get an ad in the aviation industry and say, we'll trade real estate for a jet. I don't care what it is, because I'm not going to fly it. I'm just going to borrow against it. I'm going to try to make payroll for another year. I kind of
remember this story,
right?
But yeah.
The only person that answered that ad was Fred Funk's broker. And Fred kind of had the same deal. He went from the PGA to the Champions Tour.
Yep.
Well, the money difference between those two is that's going from the Taj Mahal to Top Ramen overnight, right? So it was kind of funny. So this would have been 2009, 10, somewhere in there. And so it gets a little bit sincere. And Fred has a Lear 35. And it was black, and it had end numbers, Foxtrot, Fred Funk, right? And he's at the top of his game, just won the Players, all this fun stuff. And so I go to our golf pro, and I said, who Fred Funk is? And he goes, oh, my God, Fred Funk, whoa.
Who doesn't? Yeah.
Right? So I go, he might want to trade me some real estate for a jet. Oh, right? So Fred flies into town.
Connection.
Right. Fred flies into town. He's got his consultant with him, and it wasn't 10 seconds. We realized this isn't going to work. And I was showing him buildings and vacant land and anything that we had that wasn't leveraged to the hill. I was trying to trade him for this jet so I could go borrow on the jet.
Right.
And I called it the 2 dead dogs for a dead cat trade, right? Because the
Your
jet,
favorite.
Right? That's how we survived.
We do it a lot.
And so we're maybe 2 hours into this deal, and both Fred and I know this isn't going to happen. And I had made the comment, and you know Fred now, but he can't help but fall in love with the guy.
I know,
right?
He's such a sweet guy. And he's so cute and little. Like, he's just like
it's
Polly Pocket.
Exactly, right? And so I don't know if we're at lunch or something. I said, Fred, have you ever designed a golf course? Have you ever been an architect? He goes, oh, bucket list. Oh my God, I'll never get the chance, but I've got all these ideas. And I could just tell he was so loving and so fun that he would be really fun. And so I go, Fred, I want to show you something. I have this vision of a golf course up on this hill, and I want to call it RainDance National. And he's like, well, let's go look at it. So we drive up. There's nothing up there. It's just wheat fields and barbed wire and ravines, and we drive up on there, and he's like, well, this is really cool. This is neat. And then when we got down in the bottom and looked back up the ravines, he goes, oh my God. He goes, do you have some? So long story short, we sent topography back of RainDance with him. One of his buddies in Ponte Verde, Florida, was a architect, Harrison Minshew, that had just retired from Palmer Golf.
Yeah.
32-year career, stellar career with Palmer. And so anyway, Harrison gets this topography, and he goes to Fred. He goes, oh my God, that's the most beautiful place for blah, 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 blah. And it starts. And the sad deal was I was selling these guys that we could do this. I didn't have 2 nickels. In fact, I put that property on an auction trying to get rid of it.
And so what year was this that you met Fred?
Would have been 10, probably. I tried to auction it at 11, couldn't get a bid on it.
Yeah.
We spent a little bit of money with Harrison and Fred to try to get some designs, and it just got cooler and cooler, and let Mother Nature be the canvas. And then all of a sudden it's getting longer and longer. And then we decided, because of drought conditions, we should do fescue, which is a much more drought tolerant, but it lets the ball roll further. So then Anyway, it's a funny story where the world's shortest golfer designs the world's longest golf course.
I know.
Right?
I didn't want to say anything about his height, but I kind of already did.
Oh, he knows I'm
his
going
little
there.
Polly Pocket.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
right.
And
That's
we
right.
love him so much. And I've gotten to know Fred on a personal level. And he's now family, I feel like, to us.
Yeah, this is his home. Yeah, everybody loves Fred.
I mean, you said 2000.
That had to be 10, 11 right then when it started. And then,
so
and
we're
then,
15 years into
it went
this
really dark
relationship
for about 5 years, and there was just no hope. And I remember Fred had gone to Donald Trump at the time, before the presidency run, because he'd golfed with him a lot, and said, "Hey, Donald, I got this beautiful place at land. Would you like to invest and help me build a golf course?" And I remember Fred telling me, Donald goes, "You idiot. You can buy all the golf course you want for $1. I'll go buy you one and give it to you before I ever put money in one." So, yeah, it's some story like that, but it was pretty cute.